Hello one and all. We are studying environmental microbiology and our today's topic is eutrophication from our unit number 1. So we can observe various water bodies that are covered heavily with the green layer on the surface of that water bodies, and that is nothing but the algal layer, also called as algal bloom, and this is nothing but the eutrophication. So we are going to study in this particular video what are causes of eutrophication, what are effects of eutrophication, types, and also how can we control this eutrophication. So let us start with the what is eutrophication. Eutrophication is a process in which water bodies become overly enriched with the nutrients, leading to plentiful growth of simple plant life. The excessive growth of algae or algal bloom and plankton in the water bodies are indicators of this process. So eventually the increase in nitrogen and phosphorus contents in the water bodies leads to algal bloom, and it leads to uncontrolled growth of primary producers such as algae and other small plant varieties, and also it leads to the decrease in the oxygen. We are going to discuss about this in detail in further slides. Now we are going to start with the what are causes of eutrophication. There are number of sources of the nutrients that can cause eutrophication of water bodies. So the availability of nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus limits the growth of plant life in an ecosystem. When water bodies are overly enriched with these nutrients, the growth of algae, plankton, and other simple plant life is favored over the growth of more complex plant life. All the activities in the entire drainage area are area of the lake or reservoir are reflected directly or indirectly in the water quality. So what happens in many lakes and reservoirs, wastewater is the main source, since untreated wastewater or wastewater treated by just a conventional method still contains nitrogen and phosphorus. So we can see various industrial and household water are wastewater are directly let into the water bodies without treatment or with the partial treatment that may contain various nutrients. Also household madla जो sewage hai, household sewage also contain detergents, and these detergents are having a high quantity of phosphorus that will lead to increase in the nutrient value of the water body. Also next is the agricultural activities is a large source of water pollution. Drainage water from the agricultural land contains phosphorus and nitrogen, and the extensive use of fertilizers result in the significant concentration of nutrients, particularly nitrogen in the agricultural runoff. Nitrates, because of their water soluble nature, more readily get into the rivers, and phosphorus is not soluble in water, so it moves only with the soil movement as it adheres to the soil particles. So nutrient entering waterways come from variety of sources and originate from two main categories, that is direct or indirect. Okay, so basically what happens due to agricultural use of fertilizers and sewage treatment, sewage मध्ये जे nutrients असतात, that will lead to eutrophication. Then classification of eutrophication. There are two types, that is anthropogenic and natural. In anthropogenic eutrophication, it is caused by human activity, that is agricultural farms, golf courses, lawns, etc., which are supplied with the nutrients by humans in the form of fertilizers. These are washed away by the rains and eventually find their way into the water bodies such as lakes and rivers. And next is natural eutrophication. Natural eutrophication मध्ये ह्युमन्सचा इंटरफेरन्स नसतो. It refers to the excessive enrichment of water bodies via natural events. For example, nutrients from the land can be washed away in a flood and deposited into the lake or river. These water bodies become overly enriched with the nutrients, enabling the excessive growth of algae and other simple plant life. Then what are the effects of eutrophication? Primary effect of eutrophication is decrease in the biodiversity, increase in toxicity of the water, and change in species dominance. So we will see that in detail. Phytoplanktons, first is phytoplanktons grow much faster in such situation, and these phytoplankton species are toxic and are ineatable. Some algae we know we can consume that because they are highly proteinaceous, but these which forms eutrophication are uneatable and they are toxic. What are phytoplanktons? They are free floating microalgae that drifts with the water current. As they are algae, they are autotrophic. Then second is gelatinous zooplankton blooms faster in these water bodies. So what are zooplanktons? They are small group of floating organisms that form most of the heterotrophic animals. Okay, then third is increased biomass of epiphytic and benthic algae can be observed in eutrophic waters. What is benthic algae? Benthic region means the lowermost or the uh, सगळ्यात lower layer of the lake. So benthic algae, increase in biomass of epiphytic and benthic algae can be observed in the eutrophic waters. Then fourth is the water loses its transparency and develops a bad smell and odor. The treatment of this water becomes difficult. As it is densely covered with the algal layer, it loses its transparency and it develops a bad odor. Then depletion of dissolved oxygen in the water body takes place because it is covered with the algae. What it is, there is a depletion in the dissolved oxygen and it will lead to frequent fish killing. These points are interconnected because depletion in dissolved oxygen will lead to fish killing, because fishes are uh, fishes are dependent on the dissolved oxygen for their respiration. So if the dissolved oxygen is depleted or decreased, the fish will not be able to get the oxygen in the water, and this will lead to fish kill incidents, and many desirable fish species are removed from the water body. Also this will lead to the aesthetic value of the water body diminishes significantly. Then ecological effects of eutrophication. It will lead to invasion of biodiversity. Invasion म्हणजेच एखादा particular species dominant करणार आहे on the water body, and it will lead to decrease in the biodiversity because it will lead to uh, unfavorable conditions for the growth of many organisms. So it will lead to that depletion of that various species, and also they will displace the habitat. Some of the species will displace the habitat. It will lead to increase in water toxicity. How will lead to increase in water toxicity? Because few algae are toxic to many plants and animals, and they release the toxins, and these toxins can also move up to the food chain via shellfish and other marine and other marine animals, and lead to death of many animals. And also humans are also consumers of the fish. These toxins will also come up to the humans, and it will affect humans too. So these are the harmful effects of the eutrophication. Here we can see various due to the various activities of humans and also the natural activities, there is the increase in the algal bloom, and it will lead to the H2S production, which will cause the off order formation, and it will lead to decrease in dissolved oxygen. So dissolved oxygen decrease झाल्यामुळे जे water animals आहेत that will decrease in number. Then how to control eutrophication? Eutrophication can be controlled by the two methods, that is biologically or mechanically. So first is biological control. What happens in biological control? We use phytoremediation, that is use of plants to remove the compounds, okay, or harmful compounds. In freshwater bodies, phytoremediation has been suggested to be effective in reducing the toxicity of waters. The several plant species have found to reduce the excess nitrogen and phosphorus from the aquatic system. So we can use such plant species to reduce the nitrogen and phosphorus from that particular water bodies. For example, plant species such as Eichhornia crespis and Salvellina are used for the phytoremediation. The next is the mechanical control. In mechanical control, we can reduce the fertilizer application. Okay, we can reduce the fertilizer application, but we also have to take care that we are not going to compromise the crop requirement. म्हणजे आपल्याला adequate quantity मध्ये fertilizer apply करायचा आहे. Or we can use alternative source of fertilizers. कारण alternative source मध्ये आपण काय करणार आहे, we could apply phosphorus in the slow release form. So it will be suitable in the high rainfall areas. कारण आपण आताच learn केले की phosphorus is attached to the soil particles. It is not dissolved completely in the water. So when it is bound to the soil particles, in the heavy rainfall regions मध्ये काय होणार आहे, it will soil erosion सोबत phosphorus will come to the water body. So we can use the fertilizers that could supply phosphorus in the slow release form. Then next is enforcing wastewater treatment and eliminating the impartation of chemical phosphorus to the watersheds via fertilizers. So we can use a proper wastewater treatment. Then nutrient monitoring. Nutrient monitoring मध्ये आपण काय बघणार आहे, वॉटरची क्वालिटी चेक करणार आहे. त्या वॉटरमध्ये नायट्रोजन अँड फॉस्फरसचं कंटेंट किती आहे ते सारखं चेक करत राहणार आहे बिफोर लेटिंग द वेस्ट वॉटर इन टू द स्ट्रीम्स or also or various water bodies. Then next is removal of harmful algal blooms by chemical treatments may also impair the eutrophication. We can use various chemical methods to control the eutrophication. Here in this particular diagram, we can see all the discussed topics in the collective manner. This is all about the eutrophication. Thank you.